Yo, what is going on, Steeler Nation? We are back with draft day one instant reaction. Here to wrap up the first round of the NFL draft. I am joined by Junior today. My name's Rian.
What's up, man?
All right, so let's just go right into the pick. We traded the fourth round pick 120 to the Patriots to trade up to pick 14, and we took Broderick Jones. You guys might have seen my reaction already. I posted the YouTube short like right away. What do you think, Junior?
I'm really fucking excited about this guy, dude. The left side of our line was dog shit. Just literally dog shit, right?
Yeah.
We couldn't run the ball that way at all. Like it was really hamstringing our offense, right? It's like imagine when the other team has like a shutdown corner and he kind of destroys the other side of the field for you, but we did it to ourselves, right? And I think Broderick Jones is like just watching his film and like reading a lot of analysis. Dude, he's a really raw prospect, but that's not a bad thing because like he has all the fucking tools. He's obviously taking extremely well to being a left tackle. He's been a starter for a year and a half, but he's like excelled. He had like 450 snaps in the last 2 years. Hasn't had a holding call. Hasn't had any sacks allowed. He's been a
Like
beast.
one false start, that's it, really.
Yeah, he's like super athletic. Has great great movement. I think I know Canada likes running these fucking little gadget plays that I'm not a big fan of, but I think
They're gonna
I
work
think
finally.
his I think his mobility is gonna at least open up a lot of things, and gonna create some great holes for Najee, which we need, and fucking protect Kenny, which we're in desperate need of too,
Yeah.
dude. If he gets Kenny another second, in the back, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
I mean, right off the rip, we're not settling for like fourth round talent at the left side of our line. You know what I mean? Um, Dotson was like a fourth rounder in 2020. Dan Moore was a fourth rounder. And honestly, these guys exceeded whatever standard was there for them at like a fourth round pick. We got their value out of them. I mean, not many guys start off rip from the fourth round, and we asked these guys to do that. And yeah, I mean, it showed. Their fourth round picks, their fourth round talent. Their ceiling wasn't that high. The floor was, I mean, we saw their floor. Not the best. This guy, we're finally gonna have that franchise left tackle, and we showed having that confidence, that faith in him by trading up with the Patriots, which might have been the Patriots just sticking it to the Jets. They only took a fourth rounder, right? And
Oh yeah,
you saw the Bills trade what, like a fourth, fifth, and seventh to go up like 3 spots in the mid-20s, right?
yeah. I think I might have had something to do with like the Jaguar. No, actually, it was
The
definitely
Patriots
it
were
was
trying to
de-
stick it to the Jets because they wanted
yeah,
Broderick or
yeah. The
Broderick.
Jets
What is
definitely.
it?
We'll figure it out eventually when we see his fucking head come up as a starter and he says his name.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, I think dude, I think Bill Belichick gave us a solid, man.
I mean, fuck the
He-
guy, but still, yeah. But yeah,
Yeah,
measurables: 6'5", 311, 34 and three-quarter arms, 10.5 or 10 and 5/8 inch hands, and he broke 5 seconds in the 40-yard dash. So this guy, I mean, a lot of people are highlighting his footwork. People are even saying he played basketball in high school, stuff like that. So he's a natural athlete. But yeah, 5-star recruit coming out of high school. He was the number 2 offensive tackle in the 22 recruiting class, and the only person ahead of him was Paris Johnson, who went 6th overall to the Cardinals, right?
yeah.
So there you have it. I mean, he's had the ceiling in the world coming out of high school, and it's shown here to this point. He competed in the SEC as well, right? He's Georgia, back-to-back national champion. Started only last year though, or started the full year only last year though. So there's still potential there. I mean, we were looking for a guy that was a left tackle. Um, the name Darnell Wright got thrown out there, but really he's just a right tackle. I felt like Paris Johnson would have been a reach at this point. We saw Darnell and who's the other guy? The guy Skoronski. We saw him go ahead, and I think the
Bronski.
Steelers were just ready to jump on it. They saw enough tackle slip, and they're like, Broderick's our guy. We go from here. It's only going to take a fourth rounder, and they just traded up like 3 picks with the Patriots. Um,
Yep.
And there you go. Um, Still had to keep watching the draft though because there were some guys that we really had our eyes on that slipped through. You saw like a 4 straight run on receivers in the early 20s. And it just happened that Addison had to be that last receiver taken out of those 4 in a row. Had me at the edge of my seat. Um,
Yeah.
I, I mean, yeah, it's whatever. I mean, Minnesota, I'm fine with that. The Ravens, though, they get Zay Flowers. Um, who knows what type of ceiling he'll have. There's a lot of receivers in that room. Maybe they finally got it right. Who knows? Lamar got a contract extension. We'll get into that later. But I want to talk about now when we wrap up, while we wrap up this episode, is we have Brian Branch and Joey Porter Jr. still on the board. Who would have thought?
I don't,
Not
dude.
not
We were
me.
not
Not
us, dude.
me.
We were very ready for all the tackles to be gone and for us to pick up. Or we were very ready to like be super disappointed. Like Brian Branch would have been like our consolation prize at 17, and dude, even for a good 20 minutes, it was like fuck, we could even land Nolan Smith, but the Eagles ended up taking him
Yeah.
like last second, which was a little disappointing. But at the end of the day, like it's what it is, you know. But I mean, we're still left with two guys that we feel would be like fucking fantastic in our defense. I think the Steelers might value Brian Branch a little bit more just because he's more of a versatile player. Like I think the way you beat teams like the Bengals that have players like Jamar Chase, which will just break the top off of defenses, is through scheming, two high safeties,
Yeah.
um, like and playing them that way. And I think a lot of like elite quarterbacks seem to have the same problem. I know Mahomes had the same problem playing the Bengals, where they couldn't beat the two eye safety. This was last year though. But what I'm trying to get at is Brian Branch is a really versatile player, right? He's a nickel corner, but he's also a safety. And I think if we had that level of talent paired alongside Minka, it would it would really really let us get creative with our defense, and I think it'd be really special.
I think Brian Branch is a guy. Not really sure how much we met with him in the draft process, and that obviously reflects a lot. Keep in mind we took Broderick out to dinner before his pro day. We were at his pro day, met with him at the combine. He was there in Pittsburgh for the top 30 visits. Don't know how much contact we've made with Brian Branch, so I'm leaning more towards Porter. I mean, everybody thought this guy was a first rounder. Are
Mhm.
people really hyping up that this guy only had 1 pick his whole senior year? Because people at Penn State are saying it's because they didn't throw his way. And if they're saying he's handsy, he cleaned that up his senior year. He only had 1 pass interference penalty, and that was the first game of the season. So the fact that guys like Emmanuel Forbes went over him,
I can't believe
it's
that.
baffling.
Everyone knows how I feel about Emmanuel Forbes. Just insert the clip or something.
um,
Too small.
yeah, you guys won 60. He's a buck 60 soaking wet. But I'm mailing it in for Porter already, unless some team's ready to pay a king's ransom for Will Levis, which was, I guess, the shock of the draft. They really had to keep showing him in the green room.
Yeah,
um,
poor guy, dude.
uh, but yeah, I think I'm ready to go. I'm ready to send in Porter at 32. I doubt a guy like Tomlin is gonna pass on him twice. I mean, how do you pass on him? I mean, it's easy to pass on him the first time when when you're able to trade up for um what did we just draft? Fuck, he's slipping.
Jones, Broderick Jones.
Broderick Jones and a guy like Christian Gonzalez was still on the board as well. I was thinking Gonzalez. I wanted to say Gonzalez first because he was still on the board at the time, which was a big shock. Uh,
Yeah, he
did
fell.
Forbes go over Gonzalez?
No, Forbes went like at
Forbes went to
20.
Washington. No, he did.
Oh, he did. Oh my
Gonzalez went
god.
to the Patriots, and Forbes went to Washington, who we thought Porter would land to, and that's why we'd get in a sticky situation and not have a lineman or a corner, a first round graded corner.
Dude,
What
this is a
happened?
little off topic, but the Lions, I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
They got Jack Campbell, who everyone thought would go in the second, mid second, if that, and a running back who at the
Everyone's
earliest would go late
20s.
20s, early 30s, right?
Yeah,
I don't know what the
I
plan
kept
is, but that really is what set us up because they had 2 picks pretty much ahead of us, right? Because they had a bunch of trades and they had
yeah.
and they had their first round pick.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting draft. We'll probably get it more in depth into it Saturday, right?
Yeah,
But
we'll
right
do our
now,
wrap up like after whatever Saturday night.
okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but right now, going in the second round, we have like three really really good options as far as we know, right? We have no idea what the fucking Steeler board looks like.
Yeah.
Like in my head, I like Brian Branch a lot. I like Joey Porter a lot. I think they
Chewy
both go
likes DJ Turner.
DJ
Uh,
Turner.
a guy like Cam Smith, Darius Rush still on the board. There's a lot of corners. I would not be surprised if we use 32 and 49 on a corner or defensive back, period.
I would like that a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think our corners are serviceable,
Yeah.
but we need like
We
some
got to
real
load
talent
that
there.
up and imagine with a veteran like Patrick Peterson.
Exactly.
Sheesh. Mink on
Exactly.
the
We need
back. Oh, I was thinking it
our
might be nasty after Friday.
our defense is gonna be nasty. Our real only weak point is gonna be our linebackers.
Maybe that third rotational edge, I'd say. Maybe.
Yeah. Like there's someone. I mean, dude, if we pick up two corners in the second and an edge in the third, we're sitting
Yeah.
real pretty. But then I feel pretty bad about our receiver room at this point.
I do too. That can't be understated. I do think that we could have really got someone nice with that fourth round pick, but you really can't complain because we've just cemented our whole left side of the line. I mean, I'm looking at Broderick Jones, Isaac Samalu. You probably start who's the guy? Mason Cole at center, right guard James Daniels, our best lineman last year. And right tackle, we ride with Chooks, who I still think there's a bit of potential there to grow even more at right tackle. I mean, we keep forgetting this guy's still only 26. Yeah, he's been in the league for like 5-6 years now, but I do think there's a floor that he could continue, or a ceiling he could continue to reach, which I do think the Steelers are still looking at. That's why they haven't really got so many tackles. And I think that's also why they weren't really looking at anything past day one at tackle, because I think they still had a high hopes for Dan Moore that they weren't ready to move on from unless they could get a day one guy, which they did. So Dan Moore moves to the swing. You still have Kevin Dotson on the bench, or maybe you look to trade him. Maybe you try to get that fourth or fifth round pick back, because after day two, we have nothing to the seventh round now. Let's
Yeah.
not forget that. We have
I'm,
no fourth, no fifth, no sixth. I'm fine with. We said like those guys never really see the field their first season. If that, they become just solid depth by their second year. You know what I mean?
I was also gonna say like okay, we have Brian Branch and Joey Porter, but we also have the third option that we talked about on the podcast a little bit was trading out. Like
Oh yeah. I mean,
I mean,
Hendon Hooker
well,
and Will Levels are still there.
exactly. That's really nice trade bait for any QB needy team. I thought the Vikings might have picked up Levis, but they didn't. I was there's just like whispers of them creating kind of like an off ramp from like this Kirk Cousins iteration of the team, and he's going to be a free agent after this year, right? So they might be looking to add some talent at quarterback.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we could trade back. We could trade back into the mid second round or something, and
There's a couple edge actually that we had in for our top 30 visits. I'm looking at Keon White out of Georgia Tech and Tuli Tuipulotu from USC. These guys are second/third rounders. Keep an eye on those for I think 49 and pick 80. But
Keon
besides
White would
that,
be nice.
I'd like to see us cement that corner, that secondary room by either getting Brian Branch or Joey Porter. You got guys like Tyreek Stevenson also who we brought in for a visit, another corner. Who else is there? Eli Ricks even. Chewy's high on DJ Turner. We'll see what happens there. But if I had to put money on something, I'd say Joey Porter right now. Julius Brents even is another guy in the third round that we brought
Yeah,
in.
I think so too. I think I personally I would like Brian Branch more, but I think it's gonna be Joey Porter Jr. just because Mike Tomlin likes throwing smoke screens out
It's
there.
how we do business, man. We brought, we always get the guys that we brought in for visits, the guys we met with. Didn't see a whole lot of commotion with Brian Branch, even though he was a guy that should have won in the first round too.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think Brian Branch is just a fucking football player, man.
Yeah. But I think that'll do it for us. Instant reaction. Day one of the NFL draft. Steelers select Broderick Jones. Looking at Joey Porter now. That's the shock of the first round. Him not going in the top 31. Everyone had that on their bingo card. There was that ESPN thing that was like, oh, the Lions got guys that had a 99% probability being there like in the second round. I wonder what was probability of Joey Porter making it this far.
I think it was like 6% or something.
Fuck. All right, that'll
It
do
was
it for
crazy.
us here. But yeah. What a crazy day one. Can't wait for day two. Day three. But yeah, peace out, guys. Till next time.
Later.